In game number 1, they're surprising us already. Let's see if they surprise us with their gameplay.
That's right. Okay, already just picking up the gauntlets, gets that end light, just gonna be able to dodge past, not eat that side light or anything. Depth is hunting down Knoi at the moment, but Knoi, okay, just able to get that D-light off the stage. Alright, tries to come back in with a neutral, just whiffing a couple of hits here.
Okay, a lot back and forth. We're kind of seeing Knoi trying to use the neutral airs a little bit with the lance because it's silent neutral air, and we're seeing a lot of the neutral signature with Orion being used a lot just because it has so much force and does a lot of damage build up, but the recovery frames on it are very interesting. But Knoi right now with the lance side air on the depth and gets another one because Death used all their jump options to try to get back to the ledge.
That's right, and now Knoi with a fairly confident stock lead at the moment. Just gonna be holding on to the spear. That's the end light backing off a little bit, maybe looking to threaten a jump with a D-light at that position. How do you actually make it back on? You do the weapon toss just to give yourself a little bit of space, a little bit of room. Depth right now just gonna be looking for a landing here because that's what Boots loves to do. Boots loves to jump and then it loves to land with a sider. And just like that, Knoi gonna be knocked off stage. What's it gonna be? How do you actually close out this stock?
No, but it's going to come down to that. Death coming in with a knockout option on the Knoi with those battle boots, and you know what, Death, I think he's feeling a little bit more comfortable with the battle boots. You know, we're not seeing a whole lot of them throughout the broadcast so far. They're doing pretty well. It looks like South America tends to be the ones that be using a lot of battle boots recently, and Knoi right now has been reading that pretty decently well. And as I say that, Death comes in with a very nice battle boots combo. And then, you know, they're getting the silent neutral air options, and he's holding these neutral air signatures as well, which are very, very vital for them to build up damage, get some knockout options. But right now, Depth is in the red of that second stock, and it's going to probably lead Knoi to do a side air. But the backward neutral air doesn't even knock out yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. Tries to go through the jump lead with the side. Does it actually find it? And the GCD sig actually does end up coming out, and that is going to end up closing out the stock. Knoi continuing to hold on to this lead that they ended up building up. I feel like Depth is struggling to adapt to some of the hits that they're connecting. For example, we're seeing neutralites come out and then always like an immediate side light or side sig. And Knoi has avoided every single one of those successfully. At the moment, trying to land with the sider. Depth, you need any way to be able to close this out. The recovery does not connect. You're whiffing all these side lights. You get the decent, and then Knoi just getting in there, rushing in there with the side sig as well, just cooking and cleaning up Depth. Wow.
A side light into a spear down signature leads straight into that spear side sig, and I mean, they knew that Depth was going to backdash or go away from them as well, and they really took advantage of that and said, you know what, you're going that far away, I might as well hit you from that far away. And it worked out very nicely, and Knoi right now is up a little bit over Death, and Death has to figure out, you know, it's like, hey, how do I counter the neutral airs and the neutral attacks from Knoi going in game number 2?
You know, this is great. Just before hopping on to cast this, I was solo queuing, and I lost to 2 consecutive Lance players. And so seeing somebody else have to go through Orion at the moment is actually doing wonders for me. Oh my gosh, Knoi is up to some unethical things off stage, looking for the end sig just to hopefully get that spike. Not going to be so lucky that time around though, but Knoi is up to no good. Knoi knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that Death's coming in. Oh, Knoi barely able to come back to Death's hand there. But I mean, we're seeing a lot of back and forth. Knoi is trying to he's using a lot of signatures against Depth, and Depth's been doing very well punishing those missed attacks. Ooh. But he couldn't do that because Knoi was landing his attacks and get the spear recovery on the Depth. And you know what they want to say on Lance a little bit. I don't blame them. That's the weapon that's been doing well against Depth. The silent neutral air options have been very, very good. Silent down lanes keeps trying to do a couple different things, but overall, Death keeps on running into these different attacks.
Okay, gets that side. That's a huge jump lead. How do you actually close out the stock though? Where is the neutral air? Where was the neutral air? The neutral air would have been perfect. But alas, Knoi has a second lease at life now, picking up the spear. And again, Depth just so hungry to be able to close out the stock. But we're not seeing that lethality. We are not seeing that ability to actually close them. And Knoi is still somehow hanging onto this first stock.
Yeah, Depth is trying to go in for a couple different knockout options, but Knoi's been doing very well at dodging. They weren't able to dodge that recovery though, making things 2 stocks all. But overall, you're seeing Depth put a lot of pressure on Knoi. Knoi's been doing pretty well adjusting to that pressure, even with them not having Lance. Now they currently have Lance. They just recently picked it up, but they did pretty decently well in the last stock. And now you see Knoi coming back here with the vengeance, picking up the lance, doing a neutral signature, then picking up spear, and trying to take a whole new turn to their advantage and see if they can get a little bit more.
But again, keep whiffing these end lights and nothing good's gonna come out of it. Knoi though gonna be whiffing that side light. Depth finally connects the end light, but no side light follow up that time around. Doesn't get the double side light either. At the moment, it just, you know, when Gauntlet is just getting only one piece hits at a time, you're gonna be quite behind in damage.
Oh.
But Knoi eating that grab pound to the face, that's gonna be the stock all of a sudden.
Yeah, that ground pound had so much force with it that it gave Death that knockout, and it's a very vital thing for battle boots, especially when you're off that ledge. It's a huge thing you can rely on, and they relied on it and did very, very well. Now you have Knoi, Knoi taking advantage of Depth, using all of their jump options. Knoi realized that, got the dare into a weapon throw, and as soon as the sweat beats come out, you're seeing a lot of these players just rush their opponents and realizing they had no more options, and it's doing very well. Knoi coming in with a 4-piece combo, leading into a backward dare, launching Depth into the orange, but Depth with the neutral signature.
You jumped! You failed the vibe check, but Knoi somehow barely able to touch the stage in time. Oh my gosh. Depth still coming back in, gets the end light into the side sig. The side sig doesn't KO quite yet. Knoi makes it back onto the stage. Touches the jump with the neutral into the GC end sig. AJ, this last stock felt unfair. I saw Knoi jump in after getting hit with a downer, I believe it was, when Depth was off stage on the left side of the screen. And Knoi jumped in. That should have been Noi's stock. You do not deserve to come back against Gauntlets if you jump into the next hit like that.
I don't know. I mean, now we got, even when Knoi was coming back, right, you had the signature. That was very nice. But the Lance has a lot of range with it. You know, they're able to reach points of coming back to the map that most players or most characters can't do. But now you're seeing Knoi using that spear a little bit, launching Depth into the orangey red at one point. There we go. The dare comes in, and Noi's just not been touched a whole lot at this point in time. And they're just getting these very nice knockout opportunities. 4-piece combo does not knock out, but Knoi is going a little bit unarmed. He's that comfortable right now.
So why is Depth not dodging? I would love to know this. Depth is kind of getting blown up, especially by Spear, because you need to be dodging out of a side light, right? You need to dodge out of a side light, otherwise you get D-lighted into a double D-light side. That's not what you want to be getting hit by anytime soon. Really nice weapon toss just to be able to get a little bit of space in. Depth whiffing that signature, whiffing it again, putting himself off stage, and Knoi just looks posed to close this. You just need a D-light into a sider, you just need a recovery. You really need anything as Spear to take the stock at the moment.
Yeah, that spear recovery does go ahead and come in and knock that first stock. And I think it just comes down to, you know, Depth has, they're dodging a little bit, but they're having a rough time with their movement of placing their different attacks they need to land on a Knoi. Like that down light and messed up. You're talking about a couple different times earlier there, Dara, where they had a couple really good opportunities available to them that they just couldn't take advantage of. And now you're seeing Knoi with this lead over Depth. Depth is able to go ahead and get that Battle Boots neutral light into dare, which goes ahead and knocks out Knoi, but good pretty far.
Now finally got that first stock off, so let's see what happens here. You get that. Hey Depth.
Oh.
What's happening? Every single side light that Knoi has hit has resulted in a hit. At least it should be like a 50-50, right? You dodge up, you dodge away, you do a little something. But Knoi is getting so much mileage off of every single spear side light. At the moment, pushing Depth off stage, almost leading that dodge too. Goes through the N-sig to try and close it unsuccessfully. So though, looking through the jump lead with the recovery, missing the D-light as well, but Knoi basically needs anything to take out the stock right now.
Yeah, and we're kind of seeing this back and forth here. Knoi is trying to go and get this knockout option, but Depth still has those battle boots and punishes Knoi with a ground pound. Doesn't knock them out, and Noi's able to come on back. I might see a signature. We do. Coming in from Knoi, and Depth read that. He got the falling side air as well. Now Noi's off that ledge, and Depth has that edge control, but he went for something risky, and that wasn't really worth it because Knoi was able to come back, but is able to go back on the ledge. And we're kind of seeing a backward side air. Very nice job, and a nice job come from Knoi.
So, game 3. Knoi is up 2 stocks to 1 at the moment. You do get the D-Light into the GC and Sigma, so that's really good. That's optimal, right? That's what will KO the soonest. It's a little bit more technical of an input than D-Light into recovery, but you got it, you got the stock. And now the question is, what can Depth do with this? But Knoi has not been dodging past any of those ground pounds. I feel like if Depth wants to be able to take this, it's going to be defined by the offstage. That is where Knoi seems to be the weakest. That is where you can exploit him.
Yeah, and right now we got, you know, you're definitely bringing a good point. Daphne is definitely being exposed off the ledge, but as we say that there, the ground pound and dare options with battle boots are very, very powerful off that ledge too. So if Death can find a way of going ahead and using those while they're off ledge against Knoi, just as of right now, it might be able to figure out something. But you're seeing Knoi kind of stick in the air with that lance quite a bit, realizing the situation's like, okay, I don't want to get too aggressive. But now we have Knoi with that spear, throwing a weapon around, getting that satellite option.
Yep,
and
just doing nothing at all just in case Depth wants to dodge it, but Knoi gonna be whiffing that D-Sig. How do you make it back on? And that's what I'm talking about. That is exactly the point that Depth needed to exploit. Went out there, went for the edge guard. That is where Depth is consistently getting the most amount of KOs. That is where Depth is consistently getting the most amount of damage. If the two of them stayed on the stage, I have no doubt in my mind that that would have been Noi's game. But Knoi just, getting caught off stage by Depth over and over again.
Yeah, and that's a way to go ahead and do that there. But we're getting into the next game, and yeah, good props there to Death. He realized the situation, he took full advantage of it, but that was extremely close of a third game. So hopefully they realize it a little bit more going into game number 4. But Knoi actually that game did 423 damage with spear.
Mm-hmm. That's
so,
a lot of spear damage. Yeah, Knoi is you know, once again, I would like to point out the fact that Knoi is hitting a spear sidelight, and then almost everything always comes out. But oh, look at the position that Depth is already in, getting the jump called out. Noi's ledge trapping looking amazing at the moment. Depth all the way in the yellow at this point.
Yeah, and that's a big issue for Depth. He's got to figure out, get some combos in, gets the signature. Okay. Very nice job launching Knoi into the orange. And the signatures with Tesca do a lot of damage if they land. They're easily able to get dodged out of, but as I said, Knoi comes in with this fantastic 3-piece lance combo on the Depth, and well, just Depth into the orange, and you're seeing Depth try to use a lot of signature options, and Noi's kind of getting out of that, gets the dare satellite into weapon throw, now picking up that spear, and gets the spear dare. Oh, Depth ready that down sig, and I mean, they're just exchanging right now.
Yeah, okay, so how do either of them want to KO kill? I mean, Noi's going to be looking for recovery, or perhaps just a Hail Mary side sig in neutral. That's, okay, you know what happened there? That's called Depth was watching themselves move and not really looking at their opponents, right? When you, especially like at a high damage, a lot of people, they tend to start looking at themselves, they start looking at their position on the stage. But what a weapon toss to be able to seal that one out. Depth, amazing KO confirmed there. Just keeping this game as even as possible.
And we're kind of seeing them go back and forth. Noi's been using a lot of the spears, so we're seeing a lot of that edge control. Depth starting to approach a little bit, gets that 3-piece involving that recovery. Nice side air. Okay, now we have Death trying to lead Knoi off that ledge. Noi's like, nope, never mind. I'm coming back to platform and doing my neutralers and doing my sidelights whenever I can. But Death's actually keeping Knoi in the air and doing some damage build up.
Yeah, Depth is just dealing some serious damage on Knoi at this point. Waiting, backing off, trying to bait a side-o, trying to bait a down-o. That is how you actually open up a weapon like Lance, right? You try to bait them into the options that they think are safe, and then you just dash back and whiff punish them. Alas, at the moment, not looking super realistic, tries to go for the end sig. Okay, how do you make it back on? The down-o doesn't actually end up connecting. Knoi, poised to be able to take the stock, the GC sidelight doesn't come out, and the recovery somehow doesn't KO off the top.
No, it doesn't, but that side air will go ahead and knock out, and Depth goes down into that final. And, you know, Noi's like, all right, I'm going to go and stick with the lance a little bit. While I have this stock here, I can kind of use it to my advantage, catching Depth off guard quite a bit. And, you know, they're trying to do something against him, but Death's really getting aggressive with his battle boots, and they were landing. Noi's kind of restructured themselves on the platform, kind of spaced themselves out enough where they can kind of really approach. But as I say, that silent in the ground pound comes in, and we see Knoi going down into that final stock, and Death has an opportunity to change this into their favor.
especially if Depth continuously puts Knoi off stage. Knoi is struggling against boots off stage because you gotta watch the distance between you and your opponent. You have to know when to keep you dodge, you have to know when to keep you jumping. At the moment, Knoi has not been doing so well, but the immediate dash jump, ground pound, to be able to seal out that stock, you know what that Lance ground pound is like. You know what it's like to get hit by that thing.
And has so much force with it, and Knoi used a lot of the signature sets, a lot more than I expected going into this set here against Depth. And you saw Depth trying to use it with their battle boots, trying to figure out something, but